Hello, good evening, good evening. Welcome to this live show. Let's talk about photographer. First time in English. First time in English. Sorry if my English is not the best, but will be the first time I am talking to so many people who is watching us in this language. It's my third language. Remember, I am Spanish, Jose Sanabria from Barcelona, speak Catalanian, speak Spanish, speak English and Russian. So I have a little bit trouble sometimes mixing the languages in my brain. So let's see who we have here today. We have a very special guest. This is like a meeting of the United Nations because we are from Spain. We are from Venezuela. We have a guest from Venezuela in USA. We have a French guest in Canarian Islands, and we have a German guest in Barcelona. So, hello everybody. Now you can talk. Your microphones are on.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Nice to see you here.
How are you, my friends? First, the ladies. Katherin Wermke, hello. How are you?
Hello. I'm very well. Thank you, Jose. Thanks for inviting to this program. I hope we will have an interesting chat. And as we said before, we are like a very international team. So today we're going to talk about a little about the internationalization of the photographers, of the market, and yeah, we hope there will be a lot of questions of the people that are joining our program.
Yes, you are right, because no one of you are in your country. Yes, the international, you are very international photographers because you have adapted and you travel, you are out of your countries, living in another one and making what you like more, that is making photos. So on my right, Leo Reinfeld from Venezuela, living in Miami. The climate is more or less the same. So how are you there?
Everything is okay. I don't know if the climate is the same. Today is extremely hot in here. Not a cloud in the sky, but anyway. Jose, thank you for the invitation. It is really, for me, it's a first. I've never been into one of those Zooms where I have anything to talk about. I still not very clear if we're going to get into technical stuff or more about what's happening in the photography business.
Let's
People that
see.
shoot pictures of people. We are suffering a lot right now. I mean, I've been without real serious work for 7-8 weeks already. And I guess that I'm not the only one. And I don't know, the technical part for me is more interesting, but I leave it up to you guys, wherever direction you want to go.
No problem.
I've
We
been
never have a
15 in this
script.
business.
We never have a script, but everything is flowing. So no problem. So a little bit introduction.
Fluid,
To my friend
like
Eric, bonsoir
Hi.
Eric, mon ami, ça va bien?
Yeah, ça va, ça va.
Are you
I'm
fine?
French. Yeah, fine. I'm French. I've been living out of France for more than 30 years now. I lived in London and in mainland Spain, then Portugal, and the Canary Islands for many years now. And yes, I work as a photographer and also have a YouTube channel too. And this is why we actually spoke with Jose and we spoke about doing a live show or whatever we call it. And yes, I'm willing to speak about anything you want. And we just have a nice chat. And I hope it will interest many people.
Talking show. This is talking show, like Saturday Live Night. I always wanted to be in a show like this, managing something like this. This show in Spanish is Hablemos de Fotografía. Let's talk about photography. So many days I have been making these live shows, but this is the first one in English. So with this international photographer. So I am very proud to have you here. I'm very happy. And then Katherin, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us about your history, how you finished here in Barcelona, in this beautiful city, how you began. Everything is your time, and then we will see some of your work, some pictures you have sent me. We will show it to everyone here.
Okay. Well, as you mentioned before, I'm German. All right. I'm from Cologne, from Germany, but I've been living like the last 20 years in Barcelona. And well, not only in Barcelona, actually, I'm kind of traveling around for work. And I studied in New York. Actually, I used to live kind of a long time in New York for study and for living. And Well, I'm basically into editorial photography. I'm a visual journalist, and well, I do commercial stuff as well. And today I brought you like a little bit more lifestyle picture, which has like more a commercial touch, because I prepared you, well, a set of pictures where I can explain you a little bit how did I get the job, how does it work on the international market, and that's it. So, well, I live here in Barcelona, but at the same time, I live in Berlin as well. So I'm working in both places, and well, when there's a international assignment, I'm traveling as well. So, well, and a part of this, I'm teaching photography. I'm teaching advanced lighting. Well, it's a master at the university and another photography school. So this is a little bit, well, the summary of my background.
Yes, 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 yes. So you have different lines of business lines, making photographers in different ways, and also teaching photography. Yes,
That's right. Yes.
that's right.
Well, actually, I'm a commercial photographer, but at the same time, I'm pretty much dedicated to photojournalism and travel photography. So I have like two businesses at the same time. Especially like in those a little bit harder times, you have to be really flexible. I think my colleagues can reconfirm this, right? We are all like in a pretty difficult situation right now, and we just have to resolve this problem. So.
Okay,
Exactly.
okay. Little bit introduction, 3, 4 minutes for my friend Leo. We can. I would like also to explain how we meet, because that's important also. Why we are here, how we meet each one with me. I connect you three, but I would like to explain later who am I and how I meet you. Okay. Now, Leo, tell me when you what are you exactly doing now there in Miami to money with the photography? That's important.
This moment, exactly with this coronavirus,
Exactly
absolutely
the same
nothing.
like me.
Okay?
Nothing.
The problem is this. Okay, I'm a people photographer. Basically, I do people. I can do other things. Of course, I've done my good share of product photography. My life, I've gone the totally opposite way of normal photographers. People go from I did a little event, then I jump into something more commercial, then into advertising photography. I started totally the other way. I was working in an advertising agency in 1970s, and I got a photographer that used to do work for us, saw some fun pictures I did for fun, and asked me if I wanted to work on it. So I went working in advertising photography, and I stayed into that for 2 years. Then I met the woman that was going to be my wife, and she had two daughters, and I went to a couple of parties, and I make a couple of pictures in those parties. And it was like gunpowder. In 2 minutes, people couldn't talk about anything else than my pictures because I use advertising techniques and regular people photography. Never anybody have seen that in a place like Venezuela. Later, I found out that neither here in the United States or in Europe, I mean, people are accustomed that advertising is very properly done and things like that. Never into regular people. So that was the beginning of a career that I never expected. It became the wedding photographer in Venezuela. All started with a baptism, then first communion, then one day I tried the wedding. Before I knew, I was doing, I don't know,
You know that
200
in
weddings a
Spain, in
year.
Spanish, we say BBC to this kind of works. Yes, BBC.
I don't know, event
BBC,
photographer.
BBC, bodas, bautizos y comuniones. That have a translation for English.
Okay, exactly. But I never stick into that, okay? Because for me, experimenting was like a must, still is 50 years later, okay? I cannot be 2 weeks without doing some kind of crazy experiment, especially about lighting. Like you can think lighting is my, okay? I have been studying some of the important painters of the 16th century that I consider geniuses in lighting, Rembrandt, El Greco. Those are guys that I admire. I try to when you start seeing, showing my picture, you're going to see that there are different things that I use. Just picture of mine without a. When Kathleen, you put your setup over there, and I saw your two lights in the back there on. I said, "My God, this is a girl that works like me. I cannot work without backlight." And I was kind of bothered me that I couldn't put a backlight in here because I'm
Yes, you told me before. You
in the,
told me
in,
before.
in the dining room of my house.
Yes.
Okay, so that is the story of my life. Some
Okay.
moment in 1990s, I started having a lot of problems with this kind of, normal friends. They did a picture of some nice model or some Miss Venezuela that became a Miss Universe. Hey, do you have an affair with anyone? Do you have any sex with anyone? And I started developing a kind of a big problem with women and sex. And I decided to prove the world wrong. And I started working with women, nude, trying to do body photography without a sexual context.
Yeah, you
I
like
did not
body
want
escapes.
to have
That's what I like about you when I saw your works
exactly,
in Facebook.
exactly.
How you track the light from backlight, how you did this so amazing work. You are all like you
Okay,
told me. This is what I like when I meet you. You told me I am 40 years trying to find the best way to put the light over a body. Yes, over somebody.
exactly. That was originally the idea. I never expected the director of the Museum of Contemporary Art of Caracas, Museo de Arte Contemporáneo Caracas, Maxi. She asked me to do an exhibit of my work.
Oh wow.
And suddenly an American newspaper wrote an article saying that this was the first exhibit of nudes for children. I sent a bottle of champagne to the writer of that magazine because that was exactly what I was looking for. Some way of doing nudes that have nothing to do with sexual. Since then, I've been working on that on the side, but it became like an increasing thing. I've been doing more and more things. Suddenly, it became my fight against racism, using exactly my same system, using the female body as my way of expressing my hate for whoever have these racist problems in this planet. Because I find that if you take out the skin colors from the people,
Wow.
something
Yeah,
very
yeah,
big is
I
lost.
saw your
Okay.
work. It was amazing in Facebook. Because of that, I contact you to congratulate in private. You remember in
I
Messenger.
think that was the beginning, right? When we met, I was in the middle of that thing. So that is for me the two things I'm in love with: light and the female body have become for me I don't even know how to call it anymore. It's like I have this feeling that I start spreading the word that I believe that the day the women run this planet, rule this planet, things are going to go better. Of course, I've made nice set of friends really pissed off at me because of that. And there's a lot of women that don't like my point of view about that.
It happens. We have
Because
problems
women ask
sometimes
me,
with
what,
these prejudices on all of that. Okay, Leo, you told
ask
me you
me
never
to
have
do that.
been in a live show like this, and you don't are
Exactly,
not sure
exactly.
what to say, and I have to stop you a little bit
Never.
because we have another guest here,
Go ahead.
our friend's friend, who wants to tell us also how he began the business, what
I
he's doing now in this paradise we have in Spain, Canarian Islands. So,
Well, actually, I've been doing pictures for many years since I was like 14 years old. I'm 53 in 2 weeks, and but I've not always worked as a photographer because I had a design business and then I had internet business, but always made pictures for my clients. So 12 years ago, I was like fed up with the internet business. I sold my company to a phone operator, and then I started to do full time on photography. And what I did then, I did a lot of wedding pictures, wedding photography, and then I got a bit tired because here in the Canary Islands the market went down a lot, and they don't pay what you used to make before. So very often it's not even worth getting your camera out because if you break it, it doesn't even pay for it. So I did a lot of I taught a lot of photography, like a workshop, all this. And what I do a lot now is product photography. When I travel, I also do some photography. I do fashion photography, and also do some video for real estate agencies that they want short videos. So I make that a lot. But
and
I would
YouTuber
say,
also, yes.
yeah, I also have a YouTube channel. Yeah. And maybe I'm a bit different from other people who came many years sooner in photography. I did work with, I still work with analog photography too. I do film photography also, not just digital. But I'm a bit different, and also because I've got maybe some phases. When I get tired of a style or a typical product or kind of photography, I try to do something else, because I think very often it's repeat. I know that Leo has been like many years doing something really similar, but although when you do something similar, you still try to do new things, and there are some things that don't change that much. So when you get tired, so I'll try to do something else. No, but for me, I agree with Leo. For me, the most important thing in photography is lighting. This is the key. Lighting is the most important thing. And what I see nowadays is that many of these wedding photographers, they actually don't work on lights. They just rise the ISO and get more thing in the camera, and then they just put a preset, a Lightroom preset, and I think the picture is done. And I don't think this is photography. I think you still have to work.
Stop. We will begin to in conflicts about what is photography. This is for later. We are warming out. Warming a little bit.
Yes, it is photography, but this is not photography the way I say it.
One second. Let's start from one single important point, okay? The word photographic comes from photo, light, graphos, designing, writing. So it is
painting with light.
Okay. No, painting would be photology, and doesn't exist for whatever reason.
Photography, graphic.
Graphos are drawings or writing.
Drawing. Explain a history.
I respect any technique they want to do. I mean, I don't mind that other people see it a different way. It's not my problem. I speak about my opinion, obviously. And for me, I do use photo retouching. I do use it, obviously. But for me, it's like if you're cooking. If the meat is not good, even if you put a good sauce on it, the meat is still not good. And I think the more you want to retouch a picture, the better the original has to be. And this is what people don't seem to understand, especially new generation, you know.
So one question: Katherin is teaching photography to people who wants to learn her techniques. You, Eric, are doing it also. Leo, have you been making workshops, masterclass, and all of that?
No, I only have done one workshop. Okay, but I have right now. Not little because of these problems, but I had a nice group of people that go one-on-one. Some of them I go to their homes.
Okay.
This is what I do most now, one-on-one.
Yeah, you do. They do this, Katherin, one-on-one.
I do this too. Yeah, I call it like coaching for photographers or photography coaching, and that really works well, especially nowadays in those times, right? We have to refocus and students and clients, they really appreciate it because it's like more personalized study, and I think it's getting kind of fashion. So it's a good new market product, I think.
Okay. So all of us, we like to make photos. We enjoy making photos, and we also like to share our knowledge. You know, we like to share what we know. We like to teach another people. You know, it's the time for me to introduce myself, because maybe we have an audience I don't know. Normally I am talking every day in this show for the same people, almost. But you know, I am the youngest, not the youngest one, the earliest who began earlier in this business. 4 years ago, I was in suit with tie, and I was sales manager of a company. This is what I have been doing since 1993 until 2016. Sales manager, tie, serious businessman, and then now I am photographer.
Selling what?
Real estate, technology, software, entertainment. What more? No, that's all. For different companies. After crisis of real estate, I was in software and technology company. And one day, 4 years ago, I got a camera in my hands. Good camera, I mean reflex camera. I began to make photos, portraits to the family, like everybody, family, friends, and some TFCD models. Then 4 years until now, I have my studio here in Barcelona, and then now I am living, until 2 months ago, I was living of photography, making photos, photo sessions, workshops, shootings, masterclass, and also one-to-one. That is very, very interesting, just to teach people here can come and rent the studio. I can contract a model and teach them. I was very, I don't know in English how is this word, so my partners will translate for me. Precoz, how is to say precoz in English?
Early starter.
Early starter, because
Yeah.
I make a cover for a magazine for 3 months after begin to make photos. 3 months after this, I make a cover for a Spanish magazine. Many people is long time making photos and never published in paper. So this was for me was like a big jump to get a little bit of fame, and also I got followers, and I got also haters in the same proportion, more or less, because many people didn't understand how can I do that. So how could I do that? It was easy. I was sailor all my life. I was selling the products of other people, and now I only have one product to sell, is myself. So it's easier. It's easier. A lot of photographers make good and very nice photos, and they don't know how to sell themselves. In this business, you need to be 80% sailor, 20% photographer.
True.
I think
it's true. Very often I tell people that they have photography as a hobby, and they say, I would love to work as a photographer. I say, yeah, but when you start working as a photographer, you become only 20% of a photographer and 80% of a marketing and a salesperson. And say, really? You don't make photo all the time? So no, a photo, you need to sell them. So it takes a lot of time to market yourself.
And
there is. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I said, and as well, you're a psychologist, you're a social media manager. I think it's a very complex profession nowadays. It's not only about picture taking anymore. So you have to be kind of versatile.
There is one other thing. No, this becomes a business. It doesn't matter what you know. It matters who you know. That is the biggest problem.
Exactly. Yeah. Also, I mean, if you're not a good public relation, it's complicated, because you need to have the right friends in the right place at the right moment, in the right turn of election, because it has to do with politics also. It's many things together, aside of being good or bad photographer. I think a bad photographer with a good selling talent and good contacts can get somewhere. A brilliant photographer with no contact and don't know how to sell, he will never go anywhere. It's very difficult.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe once he once he died, maybe once he's dead, maybe it's possible. But people will find these things. But when you want to eat of it, the first thing is to learn how to sell. I think so.
Okay. So in order of time, I met first my friend Leo, because I was, wondering about his work with the light, and I love it. And when he told me that he never put the light directly to the model, I was shocked. Always using white panels, and he will explain us later how he makes some of his photos. And then I contacted him just to congratulate, and we were talking a little bit, and he was disappeared a little bit of Facebook, and then I saw him again, and I thought about him to make this live show, because I know he is living in America, so he's speaking English. I need somebody, some English speaker for this. And Eric, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago or 4, from the beginning I saw you in my Facebook, and we share the same numbers of followers and haters also. He's a photographer who you can love him or hate him. We are in the extremes. We are in the extremes. I appreciate from him that many times when I have done something, he contact me privately to give me some tips. This is what I appreciate more. You can make applause in public and correct your friends in private. For me, this is the most important. The people who did this, for me, is it has a very, very high value. And many times Even I remember when I got the Olympus camera to test, he called me by telephone to explain me, Jose, I will say you some tips about this camera because I have been using it, da 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 da. You know, I appreciate these little details. And he also called me to explain me how to make ground grow up my YouTube channel,
YouTube channel.
my YouTube channel. So he got me a lot of tips that I appreciate a lot, you know. And in this order, the last I met is, but not the worst, of course, not for the last, not the worst. It was Katherin.
The last is always the best.
It was, we met in a very strange situation, but anyway, it was, how is this? It was coincidence or something. Somebody wanted we meet and with a coffee, like in the old times. How that sounds! Like in the old times before coronavirus, with coffee in a terrace, typical Spanish terrace with cappuccino. And talking, we discovered that we have a lot of things in common, and then we thought about to make some projects together, but everything is now on the air, so
frozen.
But anyway, thank you very much for being my friends and to be here. And if you want, now we can begin to see how you work. Not we, because I have seen it. The people who is watching, I think they are waiting to see what you do with the camera. So let's begin. Let me see, make this, then if you can see it. This is the first photo. Who is the owner?
No. So my picture, you have to tell me what you...
No, it's not you.
That's not mine either.
I don't see anything, honestly.
No, yes? Oh.
I don't see
Yeah, I
any
see it.
picture.
I just see it.
No,
I
in
see a
YouTube,
picture.
in YouTube.
Yeah.
No? Don't you see
In
YouTube?
in the channel, yeah, you see it.
Yeah?
There's a girl with on the
Some fashion.
Well, that's mine. Yeah, let me see. I have the YouTube here, but I don't
Ladies
see
first.
Oh, okay, now I got it. All right. Well, I put together like a short collection of images which have like more this people lifestyle flair, and I chose those images to explain a little bit how I put my feet into the international market. Okay. So as I said before, I've been for 20 years in the business in Barcelona. Actually, I studied photography in Barcelona from 1999 till 2004, and after this. I decided that I need a little bit more experience. This was not sufficient for me, all right? As you guys know, as a photographer, it's a lifelong learning process, right? So I decided to go half a year to New York. And I did several courses. I studied in the ICP, which is the International Center of Photography, and I studied in another photography school, which is called the School of Visual Arts. So being in New York and being around all these creative people, I got in touch with a New York lifestyle magazine, which brought me into the New York Fashion Week, actually, right? And the first picture, and now again, I don't see the picture, but I know which it is. All right, this is a picture from the New York Fashion Week, which I shot from the show of Costo. Costo's a very famous Spanish designer. Actually, now, yeah, I can see the pictures now. Here we have Costo in the runway. All right.
Can you see the picture now? Is some man?
Yes.
Yeah,
I see it. Yeah. Well, the man is Costo, which is the designer, right? The picture we saw before was a model from his runway. And when I shoot for magazines, when I shoot editorial runway, I always try to give like some kind of more creative touch to this, not shoot the typical runway picture, right? So if you go on, we will see next picture.
I am.
All right. Well, I'm still here with the runway of Cousteau. So yeah, I think sometimes you just have to take the chance, you know, and as we said before, it's all about connections. It's being all over the place, always connected. And from this first assignment for the New York Fashion Week actually turned out a lot of other assignments, because I had been working like over 10 years for the Fashion Week. And actually the last shots I took, when was it? Yeah, this February when I was there again. And Can you tell me which picture we have now on the screen? Because
don't you see the channel? Ah, the channel. Don't you see the channel, YouTube channel? Let's try to play it, to go back and go inside again, because I am passing the pictures one and one.
Okay. Which one do you see right now, guys?
A Chinese girl.
Chinese girl, black and white.
Yes, this is
But you see it? You see it? Tell me, you see it in your phone?
I don't see it. Sorry, I don't see it. Just tell me the ones, because then I remember. So this is another show from another designer. Actually, we met pretty good friends. He's called Zheng Tai. And the most thing and the most inspiring thing for me about those fashion shows are really like the backstage scenes, because there you can actually connect a little bit as well with the models, get to know a little bit more their human sides, and as well, I'm a big fan of big black and white contrast pictures, right? And well, this kind of fashion editorial backstage photography I really like. Okay, now I see the pictures. Now we have another runway pictures. This is a show from a designer which is called Falcone and Shane Peacock, and yeah, I especially like this picture again. I decided to put it in black and white because it's just it transmits like a feeling for me, like Saigon, this time from the 20s, and this as well because the dresses fit, right?
I send you the link to the YouTube in
yes.
through
well now I see the pictures, right?
Okay.
Now are we still with the New York pictures?
Yeah.
Right?
Now it's a black woman with orange lights. Very nice. This picture.
All right. Yeah, here it's coming a little bit later in my phone for some reason. I don't know. So yes, what I like a lot is this spontaneous photography, like street photography as well. What I never do is like stealing an image. I always ask the people, and I always ask for permit. I even make them sign a model release paper, right? And before I was carrying like printed DIN A4 sheets with me. Nowadays, when I have the iPad with me, I make them sign electronically. So I think this is really important. All right, so that we got the model release, because all those pictures were published in the magazine, right? So we have to make sure that we don't get any problems in the future, right? So.
Nice.
So again, sorry. Yes.
You see on the black woman on the street? Yes.
No, I don't see anything, but just let me know the next picture and I will tell you about it.
Black, beautiful woman with telephone in his hand on the street.
Yes, we already talked about this. And the next one.
Really? Ah, okay.
Yes, we did.
Sorry. Black woman, very white.
I just stopped her on the street, all right? That's very important. As a photographer, as I said before, you need to have so many different attitudes, and you have to know how to transmit, how to talk to the people, how to get them involved, how to make them convinced that you want to take a picture of them. Because a lot of times when you just ask a person, the person said, oh, no, I'm too shy, I don't want, or I don't have time. So it's up to you. If you really want to get the shot, I'm convinced you will get the shot. But you need some kind of convincing techniques with this as well, right? So
yeah, psychologist,
photographer, psychologist. I said before, we have psychologists. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and here we see, if you see the same as I see. Well, this is it's a model I caught on the street, right? And now we're gonna change the country. You see the priest as well, right? As I do see them. The next picture.
Yeah, it's an old man sitting.
Yes. Okay. So explain you a little bit. So as well, this was an editorial shot, but this was shot in India, right? So after my time in New York, well, I came back to Barcelona, and actually I signed up for a NGO program. So I did actually during 2 summers art therapy programs with children which were living in the street. So the NGO I was working with, and in collaboration with Don Bosco, they took those children from the street and they put them into centers, right? And the picture we saw before of this guy, this is actually a Spanish monk, Spanish father. He was like helping us out to get organized, to get in touch with those children. And this was a very interesting scene because we really hooked up in a very nice way. And I'm really a big fan of editorial style. When I shoot people editorial, I used to use quite a lot wide angle, so you get like this kind of photojournalistic feeling in your image, and you can show all the space and everything, right? And yes, so I did this during these actually NGO time, and then I was traveling to the south of India. Here you see the picture of the guy sitting in the church, right? Do we have it here? Yes. Yep. I see it. So this guy, actually, it's a pretty famous Indian singer. His name is Katherin Wermke. And happens that we met by coincidence. There was some kind of filming for a Mollywood movie. Everyone knows Bollywood, right? But in Kerala, in southern India, it's called Mollywood because it's in their own language, which is Malayalam, which is another language, so it's called Mollywood, right? So we were stopping by and I got to know this guy and we really hooked up in a nice way. And then he said, listen, I need a new picture for my album cover and I need a video clip actually. And this was like, wow. I said, okay, I don't have a video camera here. I just have my photo camera. I don't have any lights. We organized to rent out lights and everything. And it was just a spontaneous idea. So sometimes, as I said, these are those coincidences, right? And actually this video clip was played during a long time on MTV India. So I have it on my website. It's kind of a nice thing actually, right? We filmed it actually in the backwaters. If you go one picture back, you're so quick, Jose.
Oh, sorry.
Can you go back? No problem. Can you go back to the picture before where we see this Indian music band? This was shot as well in Kerala, in India, in Alleppey. Alleppey is a place, well, a beach place, right? Very famous for the famous Kerala backwaters. And this group is called Blank Planet, all right? And the same, they saw that I was working in the field, I was shooting this promo music video, and they asked me, listen, we need some pictures too. And they liked in this moment that a foreign photographer, foreign lady was there to shoot their new cover. Right. And yes, this was, let's see, my India experience. And actually, I was supposed to go this summer again, but well, cross fingers, but I don't think we will be able to travel till end of the year. But this is a new project. Well,
yeah, it's a pity.
Next year, right? And last but not least, here we will see 3 pictures. This is a series, actually. It's called The Queer God, all right? Inspired in the ancient goddess and the gods, all right? And this picture we see right now actually got an honored mention in the Black and White Spider Awards like 2 months ago, right? And this picture is actually a making of picture, all right? I shot this here in my studio in Barcelona. See, we're in my studio here right now. And if you show the 2 other pictures that are coming after this, you will see the result.
Your wishes are orders.
Sorry?
Your wishes are orders for me.
Thank you. Thank you. Here we go. Okay. So we got this picture and the other, which comes behind. These are 2 pictures of a series I shot right now for Arles, for the French Arles Photo Festival. All right, and the series called Fire Inside. All right, as you can see, well, these are photo montage, of course, but we shot this here in the studio. We make up this person. Actually, it's a guy, as you could see before. The first picture we show, it's my friend Robert from Los Angeles, right? And yeah, we tried to express the different emotions and feelings through different makeup styles as well.
Wow.
Right?
Amazing work. Congratulations. It's a pity that our friend Leo doesn't have the way to see your pictures. So I will send it to him.
I guess I can see the program afterwards.
Yes, that's right. That's
yes,
right.
then you can see it. Yes, right.
That's right.
And
well,
I think I have you already in Instagram. I can check some of your images over there too.
Good, very good. So Leo,
you can check mine too. Okay.
Leo is your time, but then this is a challenge for me because you can't see what is on the screen. So I will try to describe in English, as I said when we were training before. So
Yeah.
the first one we have here is a pregnant woman with
Okay.
with a family, with a husband and another son. So
Yeah.
here in black and white. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. Let me explain to you a little thing, maybe important. Okay.
Yeah, of
I
course.
do most of my work is not important people, is not famous people. Okay. Even the famous people, I try to make them feel like they are not famous. And
Good.
part of my idea have been for years to make people feel important with themselves, with whatever they are doing. I love shooting kids because there's nobody more natural when you let them be natural than kids. I don't know how many times in my life I have to tell a mother, get out of here, or a father, get out of here because I want to be with the kids and play with the kids. Okay? This case, this is a photographer friend of mine. We have partnered for many years. A lot of people ask me if he's my son. Okay, his wife and his second kid in the way. Okay, that studio was for both of us. Okay, and I like to arrange a studio in a way where people can move from one place to another. But this woman didn't want to move, so she stayed there. But you will see something that you will see in every picture of mine. There is always a backlight from somewhere. Okay? A lot of them with
Yeah,
two
always,
backlights.
always.
Okay, because that gives me this feeling. You can feel that the father is in the back and the mother is in the front and the kid is in the side. This 3D, you can only get it with backlight. I don't know how much people I can keep pushing and keep pushing about. I have been in don't know how many situations outside where everybody gets with the sun in the back, and I am the only one in the other side. So people start screaming to me, "Get out of here! No, you get out
Yes,
of there
yes,
because I'm shooting the right
I have
You're
read this
shooting the wrong
in Facebook. Yes, you are right. And what about you like to photography children? So we have a girl
I
here doing
love.
something like that. That's very nice. Remember
Yeah.
which picture is?
Okay, this is a nice story. The mother of this girl, I see the picture of her wedding. Okay, never saw her again for maybe 7, 8 years. Suddenly, I meet her here in the supermarket with the daughter, with that girl, and I tell her right away, I have to have this girl in the studio. Coming to the studio, the girl that I want to shoot pictures. So I sit on the floor and I start talking with her, and I start telling her to make me funny faces. I don't want to know how you look when you are nice. I want to see the bad one of you. The mother started getting pissed off. Like, please
That's
get out of
original.
here. Go to the front door. All right. And I started playing with that girl. Okay. That was maybe 8 years ago. The girl is about 11, 12. My mistake not sending you some of the last we did. But the whole thing started with the same story. She started making faces for me.
Oh,
And I have a collection from that day back then. I put the colors. The mother said something about the picture. Said, "Look, I don't care. I'm going to print that picture for her to put in her room." She's 12 years old, and that picture I send you is already on her wall in her room. So much she loves it, and I love that. Okay, for me, the mother was not the client; the girl was my client,
understand.
and I played
Well,
a
the next photo,
lot with
I
her.
don't know if it's her mother or not. The next photo we have is a portrait. Is a how to say single eye. I see the eye of the woman. She has a ring
Like,
on the hand. I don't know
okay,
if it's a
no,
product
no,
photo or it is a portrait.
no, that was from a magazine. That was one of
Ah,
those
okay.
jobs from a magazine. She's a Manco.
Ah, okay.
Manco is a family, very well known Venezuelan. She was an actress. She had
Understand.
some big accident. The husband died,
Mm.
parachuting or something like that. I don't remember. And the thing is that we shot inside. They wanted to bring her to a studio, and I said, "Why a studio? Where is she going to get dressed?" And I said, "In some saloon with some guy." Okay, let's shoot there. And I went there,
Understand.
and she started trying things. And I started shooting like crazy with food, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And the pictures came out totally what nobody expected. That one I
Okay.
sent you was made. I think it was the second front cover of a magazine I ever sent. That
Okay.
was not the idea. The idea was she, the actress, and it
Now
finished being like an advertising product for something.
Now we have
Keep it going.
some rings with a crystal. That's very difficult to take the right light.
Drinks.
Rings with jewelries. Yes. rings, anillos.
Oh, the rings. Yeah, yeah. That's a kind of strange story. Okay, a few years ago, by pure mistake in a very little studio, my backlight shoots and the other light didn't shoot, and I don't remember where I was shooting. Suddenly, I saw that because all the walls were white, I got some kind of a extremely even light all over. I went right away to buy white panels, this styrofoam that normally for children to do project in school, and I started making experiments with them. And I discovered that if the light comes from every direction, products like those rings, I should have sent you flowers that have done it with the people that have done it with it. You get Ansel Adams quality of light all over. There is not one single place that doesn't get lit.
Yeah,
Because the
I
light
see. It's
is
wonderful.
coming from every possible direction. So if you don't change the position of the light and you shoot a product and another product and another product, you can put them together like I sent it to you. Okay. This is a client of mine. It's the only jewelry. They're a jewelry factory. Okay, and I shoot for them maybe 120 pieces every year. And it's been funny because I'm really far away from them, and they try to get somebody else. The guy told me not long ago, say, I don't know what the hell you do, but no one can get the picture like yours. There's only one that can see everything, even which says the silver 900, whatever is the silver, or 18 carats gold inside, the very little, you can read even that.
So
So that's why I sent it to you, because
about product, more about product. I have seen we have some plates here and spoons and everything in the right place. You told me
Right.
how you do this, how you know where is everything.
Same technology. Okay.
Yeah.
There's only light from the back, only backlight, and the rest is panels all over. It's white panels that they stick them together like this, two, and they put them around. So
I can see it. I can see it on the cups. Yes, the glass. Yes.
And because there is the main light is a backlight, you have this 3D effect. Okay, this is a client that I lost because one thing that I never ever expected to hear in my life, they could not fulfill their sales. They went bankrupt because of that.
Oh, wow.
They were selling so much that they couldn't fulfill it, and in this country, this is as bad as selling too little.
To die of
When
success, dying of success. How is it?
Exactly. It's kind of. I've never heard about that before. Since then, I have been asking. But that happened to these people, okay? I sent him the picture like that. It was my idea to use a black background instead of a white background. First, the woman didn't want that. She didn't like it. When she saw the picture, oh, that looks fancy.
What about the bicycle? Why? Sorry. I thought you finished.
No, that a little story happened with some.
Yeah, I have more picture of you than of our colleagues, so we have to go a little bit faster. If not,
go ahead. Those are for me less important.
I have a bicycle that remembers me when I make photos of people on the
same thing. Products with a lot of panels around. There is no light shooting at it straight. Everything is shooting to one panel to another panel. So keeping going. It's just
incredible.
Stuff.
Incredible. Now a woman with some jewelry, with green color. Yeah, earring. Yes, in the air. It's a portrait. I was talking about this portrait. I think you make it with octavox or something. Big lighting inside.
Right. This is maybe the funniest story of my life. This girl came to do the makeup of another one, and I fall in love with her the day I met her. And I told her, "Wow, you should be the model." And she got mad at me. And I did not stop till she came to the studio. Okay, that piece of jewelry is done digital. Okay, it's a different picture. I put it together because, again, shooting with the panel system, if you do it exactly the same way with a person, with a piece of jewelry, you put them together, they look perfect. Nobody can know that there's not one picture. There's two pictures. Okay, that's why I sent it to you.
And the woman with the horse also. The woman with the horse.
No, that was different. I tried with a friend of mine, another photographer. There is a town here called Wellington that in wintertime, it becomes the center of horse jumping and horse polo of the planet. everybody from that have to do with that is in that town. And we went there. This is a 17 years old girl that the father wanted to see some pictures. Went there, started shooting some pictures. Light you see over there is totally natural. There's no flash.
Yeah, there's a question. I wanted to know if there is natural light or not because I see a point of light in her eyes. So I didn't know if you use some flash or not.
No, I use a piece of window that was in the back of me.
Ah, interesting.
And
now finally we have your not you told me it's not a bridge. I don't know how it's in English. This thing where is the woman with the bikini, you know, and this like a bridge
a pier.
That's the word. Okay.
It's a fishing pier. Okay, where I have done, I don't know how many jobs. Whoever goes into my Instagram, you're gonna find a lot of pictures done with it.
On this place.
One day I went there with this girl in the pier with the yellows is the same one with the earring. Okay?
I see now.
For her at least 10 times we have been out. The thing is like this. I found this spot where I go at sunrise, always at sunrise, because here we have the sea to the east. One part of the year it is in the lower part of the pier, the other part of the year is in the other side. But every single day of the year is unbelievable because that light you see making the border is the sunlight. The rest is bouncing from the walls of the pier.
Yeah, this reflection on the walls, but you didn't use any reflector or something like that, yes?
Absolutely nothing. A little bit of Photoshop after to bring up the dark areas and bring down a little bit the everything become a measuring tricks that I would need an entire program to explain to you how it's done, but it's just little tricks. No one of the pictures that one gonna see under the pier are done. All of it is done with natural light, no flashes, no bouncing, no nothing.
Understand. Now
just the walls of the pier help me a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, you see where the light is reflection, so that's interesting. Now we have a pregnant woman with a red dress, with a backlight also, and you see his belly is like a moon.
Okay, this is a different story. Less than 6 months ago, I got into this. I started looking for a little place to put a little studio. Because I was not working with a studio, and I got into this little room that I see 2 little windows. Tell the guys I'll take it, and I drop into that little studio. I'm talking little, not more than 25 square meters. Okay, I drop 50 years of my knowledge on it, and that's where that picture is done.
Yeah, it's nice, amazing light.
I put it because one of the pictures shot in that room. Other people say to me, "Wow, you have light coming from here, from there." Nothing. There are 2 hanging. And instead of using what Kathleen have over there with the booms and things like that, I put in 2 side walls these bars that are in the walls, and only use 1 light next to me, and then I have my panels all over.
Yeah,
hanging, not hanging.
Panels. I know. Okay, now we begin with the famous people. We have some men here with very good teeth, and glasses, smiling. Who is who?
Rafael, maybe, with big teeth.
Yeah,
that's the president of MIT.
Okay.
MIT is the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, maybe the highest institute of technology in the planet.
Okay.
We went together to school. We had a little party for our 50 years coming out of high school a couple of years ago. And I put together a little studio, and the people couldn't even notice it. So whoever was passing through it, they make a picture.
Okay.
And people said, well, "We're gonna do something serious." What serious? What the hell? So that's the picture I did of him, and of course, became famous because he.
But this is not in a studio. In a studio, we have some black and white pictures.
No.
Like men doing like this. You remember?
Yeah. That's not in a studio. That man doing like this, his name is Gabriel Gasso. He might be South American, one of the most important landscape photographers. I did that picture for the back of a book he was doing in that moment. And the daughter's house. It's like a little trick to show him because it was like a little funny thing with him. He says, "Yeah, you have to bring me to a studio to make a good picture for me." I said, "No, I'll go to daughter's house. We do it over there, and that's where we did it.
So you
It was
have to
in the
bring the
dining room
studio.
of his
You have to
own
bring the
daughter's
studio and
house,
your
believe it
lights
or not.
there. Yeah. And the Spanish one. You
I
told me
brought
this man is
two
Spanish.
lights, and that's it. Yeah, that's Angel Fernandez. He have a comic strip, something called Angelito Universal over there in Spain. I see it in here because I'm like his friend in Facebook.
Hmm.
That was in studio. Okay, I made him come with his daughter and his wife, and we shot the studio. We have been friends for, I don't know, 40, 50 years. He used to work in a big advertising agency when he started doing photography. And the funny thing with him is always have been jokes between us. So everything with him have been fun. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to go with you totally the other way. And the others told me, yeah, do it. And he said, no, I'm not a serious guy. And I
Oh,
made
but
that
he's serious in the
he looked like
picture.
the most serious. Exactly. That was my idea to go exactly. I love to be the contrary. You want to be
Okay.
happy? I'm going to make you go serious. You want to
From
be
this
serious?
serious
I'm going to make
man,
you go. That's me.
from the
I enjoy
serious
that.
man to the funny photo
Huh?
of swimsuits product for catalog picture. Yes.
Where?
Hello.
And with a couple in two different pictures. Yeah, that's a catalog.
Yep.
Same story. This is how I put together a studio in the wrong place. That's in the inside the factory where these products are being made.
Well,
And of
sometimes
course, they
it
always say,
happens.
no, it cannot be done. But the guy say he cannot spend to bring these people to the studio. Okay, let's do it to your factory. That has been one of my lines of expertise. I can shoot pictures what I consider good quality any place.
Okay.
It's for me this kind of something I really enjoy. You tell me cannot be done, I'll prove you wrong.
Understand. And now, what about this art you make with this symmetric,
Okay. Before any photography, art, advertising agency, I went to study mechanical engineering. Not good. After 2 years, I stopped. But some of the math of it stayed on me. Okay. When Photoshop came out, I started playing with math and Photoshop. When a few years ago, I found that I can use body parts and repeating them and change the angle and change the size, I start getting some kind of very interesting designs. Okay. And I can play with the colors of it by playing with the Photoshop allows you to open one layer for each one of these images. Okay.
Yes,
so
yes,
you can
yes.
play with 2,000 colors if you want, or you can do everything with one single color. Okay?
Interesting.
So I came up with something that I never expected. I've been selling a few of them, not many, because a lot of people have still the same problem. Oh, there's a naked woman in there. I can see it. My son is going to see it, so I cannot put that in my house. But I still enjoy doing it because the shapes that come out are incredible, and they are human people. They are women. They are women bodies. Okay?
And the last one we will see is this one. I like it very much. It was, I think it was in a magazine. You said, it's a woman with a violet dress, without shoes. Yes, with a backlight, of course, but like on her left, on her right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That was a magazine that had to deal with fashion. And it was one of these crazy things, and everything was very fancy. It was inside a club here in a place called Kibis. Everything was extremely fancy, in the shoes, and then in the name of the shoes and the dress, and who made the dress. I'm not a fashion photographer. I don't have the patience for all these little.
You have to adapt. You have to adapt.
This one put this dress that I prefer to adapt the world to me. Okay? So in this case, I make this woman jump on top of that table. There was a table that was not a chair. Okay? And of course, I have the people from the magazine next to me. And I have the people that made dress next to me. What the hell are you doing? I say, I don't know. I want to play a little bit. It's been not fun. And I tell her, drop the shoes. And she dropped the shoes. And she started having fun. And she started modeling on top of the table. Believe it or not, that picture became the front cover of that magazine. The guy was...
Wow, the one you didn't expect, yes? So my colleagues, what do you think about this work?
Really nice, really nice.
Yes, because you have seen his pictures. He haven't seen yours, Katherin, and he will not see the pictures of Eric. But what do you think about this work?
Yeah, I really like it. It's really interesting. I like that it takes a lot into account, all the light, all this, the backlight is really interesting. I think it's really nice.
Yeah, I am amazing about this. One light only and a lot of panels. I had to try it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the work of Leo shows that sometimes we don't need so many lighting modifiers. We don't need so many gadgets. Like with simple light schemes and with genius and with thinking, we can create really great pictures. I'm pretty much a fan of actually one light schemes, and then just using reflectors, panels, mixing with natural light. So I think that's a very good approach, actually. Yes.
Okay.
Very often I say one light, one problem, two lights, two problems, three lights, three problems. See, it's true. It can be also some solution, but
I don't agree. I don't agree with you. But one light gives you one effect, two light gives you a different effect, and three light gives you
that's
another.
right. That's
Yeah,
right.
but more problems to control. Yes, of course.
But what I mean that very often people, when they start photography, they want to start straight away with 3-4 lights. And I think they should learn how to use one light properly, and then build up a style with more lights if they want. But I really like to work with just one light when I can. Sometimes it's not possible because you don't get the effect you want. But working with one light has some things sometimes special, I think.
Look, years ago, we're talking 2011, okay? I was invited to go back to Venezuela to talk at the Photography Association convention over there. In front of me had to talk a guy, Claudio Napolitano. You can check him around. He won highest prize Hasselblad have. The guy works with incredible equipment. He's Hasselblad and Broncolor and all of that. And he has his, of course, his work is out of this planet. I love his work. I love him as a person. And after he finished, and it's my turn, I go up and say, okay, guys, I'm going to show you the same thing you see, what can be done with $100,000 of equipment, how you can do it with 500. Everybody was crazy, you know. So this is more or less the idea. You don't need to have a ton of money to create good photography. Photography is about what you see. People don't have the time to see. I complain to people in the street. I have a lot of fights because I see somebody, they see like a shot and they go and shoot it. Go around, take your time. Look what angle is the best. People don't do that. A lot of photographers don't do that. And that for me is the name of the game. It's like, I like to see around me where the light is bouncing, what is doing, what is not doing, take it from there. And the amount of light, look, you give me a brown color, I'm gonna use it. But you give me a Godox that costs $200, I'll use it too. Everything have a use and everything can make great photography. Photography is in the eye of the one doing the picture. Photography is just putting into a camera on a computer what your eyes is seeing. This is it.
What do you think,
Go ahead,
Katherin,
the next one.
about this? You need to spend a lot of money in equipment to make a good photo or not?
No,
it's not necessary.
I don't think so. I'm pretty much a fan of using a lot of natural light as well. I think, as Leo said, I always say we have to feel the light.
That's
shoot,
the name of the game.
Yes, we shoot with the heart and with the brain, but more with the heart. So I don't need much lights. Of course, I love my pro photos. Of course I do, right? But a lot of times I do the whole light setup for shooting in the studio, and then I end up just using one. Or I said, no, well, we don't. Let's go out. It's a nice day. It's a nice sunset. So let's leave the studio and let's just do it outdoors. So
exactly.
Yeah.
I have the same thing. I have about 6 Eddingchromes, 500, 250, 1,000. Whenever I can use it, I use them. But there's a lot of moments that I prefer to use whenever it comes to the little windows into my studio.
Too.
And this is the name of the game. It's light, all about light, the quality of the light, not the quantity of the light. Next. Your turn to show, Eric.
Okay, let's see Eric's pictures. 1 second. 1 second. Oh, yes, we begin with something interesting.
Let's see.
Yes. Well, let's see. You see it? Can you see it?
No, I don't see it yet. Let me see. Yeah, well, this picture, I was in New York City last November, and we went to see the memorial place, but it was closed that day. I don't know why that closed it. So we saw around, and here this is a monument. You have some water falling in there, and many people put some roses or this. This picture, I like it because I think that you can make picture with any gear. And picture is made with my iPhone, and I've put a lens, a wide angle lens on it because I've got some extra lens you can put on the iPhone. And I really like this angle because people like to have a skyscraper to be straight, you know. But here I wanted the rose to be straight, not the tower, just a rose that is on the first on the front to be straight. And I really like that picture. It was I had my iPhone in my pocket. I made a picture, and I think picture must be made. There are two kinds of pictures: pictures you make when you see the thing, and the picture you build. And when I do some work, well, I build the picture because I have to organize things, all this. But when I walk around, I don't like to plan too much. I see the thing, I just catch it. I like this. I really like this picture. Well, I like this picture because I was in the north of France doing some promotion for Olympus because I work with Olympus Micro Four Thirds. I was doing some promotion, and then I was in Normandy, and I saw there was an American cemetery for the Second World War. I'd never seen one, so I walked in and saw that. And I like this picture because normally people said you should work in third and never place the horizon in the center. But then I placed the horizon in the center in this one because it makes like if it was two pictures. One is all the crosses, and the top is like the countryside, you know. And this is really the sensation you have when you are there. It's really quiet, really, really quiet. You have a church, and you hear the bell every half an hour or every 15 minutes. And it's really, there's no one there, no one. It's really silent. And I was really impressed when I saw that. So I made a picture that is not made with an iPhone. It's made with my Olympus camera. But I really like that place. It was really impact. It was a big impact for me. Well, this is a picture fashion photography. This is Claudia Reyes, a fashion designer. We work together, and she makes all the dress and all this. And this is in a place where a garage where you have many cars that actually rent the cars. And some people would say, why don't you show more of the car? Actually, the idea is not to show the car, but to show part of the dress. This is a series. There's several pictures. I put this one because it was horizontal. I thought it would be better to show on to show on YouTube. Okay, but this is the way I like to light. I like to give more light to the face always to impact a bit, and then to give some enough light to get some to see the texture of the dress, but also like to have tone on tone. Like this is black on black, you see, because you see the dress is black and everything is black. The area is all dark, and the car is black. So when you see it small, maybe it's harder to see, but when you see it big, then your eye is like invited to look at the details. It's not like if it was full lit, you know. But this is a work we make many works together with Claudia Reyes. This is in New York City. This is Brooklyn Bridge. There are thousands and millions of pictures like this one because everyone who walks over this bridge makes this picture. But this one, I didn't make it symmetric. It's not symmetrical. If you look, it's not straight. It's a bit turned, and then the cable don't come to the corner because I thought this way. I know this is my picture. It's different from because everyone wants to make it perfectly symmetric, and this one is not exactly. But I like it because it's more like a holiday souvenir for me, a travel souvenir. But I like this picture, and I felt that I wanted to take it. Okay, this is long exposure, and I've used this picture many times on Facebook to fool people. Because many people criticize the use of smartphones, and this is made with an iPhone, with an app that let me make long exposure. And when I publish it, many people say, wow, what filter did you use? What did you use? Obviously, the iPhone is on a small tripod and everything, but this is long exposure made with a smartphone, because I think it's a pity that people don't realize that if you take a smartphone out of the box, obviously, the smartphone makes a picture on its own. But if you use a third-party app, you can actually work in manual exposure, time,
right.
all this. And the following one,
sorry. Yes.
Okay, no problem.
This one.
This is made with my Hasselblad 503 CW. This is an analog picture. The sky looks burnt, but it's
so you are making a picture with iPhone and then with the Hasselblad analog. Oh wow, that's that's a long distance.
And the next one was Sinara 5x7.
And actually, when I picked the picture, I didn't pick just one style. I decided to make like a mix of styles and different kind of picture, not to give especially one way of doing. And this is close to my house in France, my parents' house, because I don't have any house in France, but this is my parents' house. And this railway is abandoned, there's no one there. And same thing, I like to put the horizon in the center, when actually I tell you it should not be in the center, it should be more in a third. But I like it because it drives you towards the horizon. I prefer this way. And this was a picture I liked, because I've made this picture many times with different material, but this one with the Hasselblad, I liked it. And then following one, let's see. Okay, this is again with Claudia Reyes, and this is also this was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I really darkened the sky using an ND filter. And then I lit just the face. I've also have full body shot of this sari, but that was made. I took this on horizontal to present better in video. Okay, and the whole thing is when we work together, she actually think about the shooting, thinks about she designed the dress. We decided about the place where to do it, all this, and in that situation, she works as the art director, actually telling what she would like to have, and then I work on the result of the lighting. As you can see, there is one main light on the right side, which is a Godox AD200 in a 120 centimeter softbox, and there's a kicker light on the back that gives light to his blue, because she has blue hair on the side. As you can see, it gives a bit of light on the hair. But as you can see, as always, I really like to give a really big push of light in the face. It's not like Leo likes backlight, but I work more
front light.
I like front light. Okay, and this is her again, and this was in I call that wheat. I can't remember. We call that this herb, this cereal, and. It was. We've been looking for a place like this in Tenerife for many months or years, and then one day I found this place, and I called Claudia. I said, "We can finally the picture you wanted to make, no?" And the series is completely in color. All the pictures we made there were in color, but this one I thought the sky was with this cloud like this. That would be great to have it in black and white, and I think it worked really well. And the way she's lit. Makes that she stands out out of there. I like this picture because it's like different from normally what I normally do. Maybe it's a bit different. And this one, this is same thing, just one light. This was on abandoned place, and I put just a bit of light. It's true, it could be good to have a kicker in the back to give a bit of light to silhouette the hair, things like this. But sometimes when I'm working, I get lazy and I say, well, okay, I'll make it work this way. And I thought the result would not be as good as this one, because I thought it would be better to have a light to silhouette. But then when I looked at the picture, I like the way she stands. The line you see on the front, I'm really low on the floor, and there is some herbs in there. And it's actually, you see the branches.
It gives 3D. It gives 3D. Deep.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I like the way it looks. Well, she's actually the daughter of Claudia you saw before. And this is in Merida, south of Spain, in Extremadura. And this is a long exposure. You don't see too much because it was not too long to have the clouds too moved, but enough to have the water really flattened. And that this is really funny because I was making picture there, and then all of a sudden I heard a guy shouting, "Eric!" And then I looked, and it was a guy you actually know, Jose, is Juan Diaz from Valencia. he was actually there by he had something to do in Extremadura there, and he was walking on the bridge, and then he recognized me from there and took a picture. And actually, in his Facebook, there is a picture of me making this picture right now. And I really like to work on black and white to make black and white really contrasting. I don't like gray and gray. I like black and white. And this, as you can see, when I work on black and white, I will really force the contrast. And this is a picture 2 weeks ago. I made a live show on my YouTube channel with Claudia and Sarai. And as you can see, we made everything. She started to make the makeup, everything. I explaining it took like an hour and a half or something like this to make the live show. And then I explained how I was going to light, how I was going to frame all this. And this is just one of the pictures to show an example of one thing we could do in a really small space because it was made at home against a wall between two doors. And people could see in real time how I was working. So I thought it was interesting to put this picture. It shows more the work about makeup than the work about photography, but it shows the kind of thing I do, okay?
Okay. Yes, we had a question in the chat, but it was in Spanish. If some telephones can shoot in RAW, so I answered. I replied.
Yeah, I do shoot in RAW file with my iPhone.
Yes, the iPhone can do it in RAW with the external programs. Yeah,
Yes.
And the modern ones, yes, the biggest ones. Yes. Okay, amazing work. Also, only me and Katherin have seen your pictures. I'm sorry, Leo. Next time you need 2 telephones to make this for the next time.
No, I have to move my computer to my living room because it's in my room. It's in my room, and the room is a mess. And out of that is the computer. It's a big thing. I cannot.
No problem. So it was very nice to see how you work, how different kinds of pictures you do, how you track the light in different ways. So by the way, Katherin, what is what flashes are you using? I see something familiar there behind you. What kind?
I'm using on one hand Profoto, all right, in studio and on location as well. Yes. And I'm using Elinchrom as well. Actually, when I started in studio photography, when I opened the studio, this was like 15 years ago. I started like with really old Bowens, right?
Yeah.
Like really heavy gear. All right. They last kind of a lot. Then they got broken one after the other. And I switched to Elinchrom. So nowadays I still have the Elinchrom flashes, but my main lighting system is Profoto actually, yes. Well, as you do as well. I see it in your back as well.
Yes. I don't know how do you think I like Profoto? I don't know. I don't know how do you think I like Profoto. I don't know. Some product placement. Okay, what's that? 4 telephones. You can shoot in RAW with this and this. Okay. So I think it has been a very interesting chat, program today. It's a pity that people don't ask us anything. So that's clear that we speak very well and nobody have doubts, This is one thing. Or another thing is that they are looking the pictures and they don't understand a word we say because most of my followers are speaking Spanish. So this is how to say experiment. I thank you very much to share the experiment with me. Maybe we have to begin.
No, wait. You have to sit now with the entire video that you have and put the little wording under in Spanish so that
subtitles. Ooh.
Subtitles in Spanish.
But this is automatically or how? Because I am very busy.
No.
You have to run it by yourself.
Oh no! I am very.
It's faster for people to learn English and to make subtitles.
Yeah. That's right.
But anyway, I think it's good. Although there were not many people, I think it is good anyway because people can replay this later, and maybe you'll get more English-speaking people at a later time and a later date. So we'll look at the video. And anyway, I think it was really interesting. We can make it some another day in Spanish if you want, but I think it was interesting. It is interesting, anyways.
Start from scratch and do everything in Spanish.
Yeah. No, the thing is that we have to open our markets. This is one of the points that we have not to be closed. Look at Katherin. He has been working in Barcelona, in New York, in Germany. So many people speak another languages and they don't take they don't use it for work. And now is the point that I am thinking about to take a little bit of to take some followers from people who speaks English and also Russian. So the next show will be in Russian.
Well, I think
Don't invite me, please.
I can tell you the best investment I've made in my life was actually learning Spanish and English, because I've never worked in France except 4 months for Olympus, like 2 years ago. And very often I see people saying, what should I, to be a photographer, what should I need to learn? I said, well, to be a photographer, you don't actually need to learn any specific thing for the business. You must learn things to make pictures. But if you want to be a photographer and earn money with it, you must learn languages, you must learn business,
marketing.
you must learn marketing. Because actually, there are some people after 2 weeks with the camera, they make brilliant things. And other people after 50 years with the camera, they make shit anyway. So there's no solution. The only way is to survive is to be able to sell this. And if you speak languages, it opens new doors. I mean, even in Spain, I do sell to French people, I sell to English people, and obviously sell to Spanish people. But if I didn't speak English, for example, there are many clients I would not have. And if I didn't speak Spanish, I would have to work in France, and that's it, So I think people forget this. And also, it's not just for getting your business, it's also for learning. Nowadays with YouTube, there are many channels, and speaking English, speaking German, or speaking other languages opens other things. I wish I could speak Japanese and see what Japanese actually tell, because there are some Japanese or Chinese or Russian photographer that are really interesting. But if you don't speak the language, you don't know actually what they're saying. You just see the results.
We have a question. We have a question in the chat. Where can we see their works? So we have to write our Instagrams in the chat. Who is able to do it? The one of Leo, I will write it. Leo, with your Instagram is?
There are two. There's one Leo Reinfeld.
Yeah, I remember.
All together, Leo Reinfeld.
One second. Leo Reinfeld photo. Okay, 1 second.
I put mine.
And no, that's the second one. The artistic work is under Leo Reinfeld only. Okay, and under Leo Reinfeld photo in English with PHOTO is more my commercial work.
Okay, and this is Leo without.
So photo. whoever have children, go to Leo Reinfeld photo. Whoever can see pictures without the children, go into Leo Reinfeld. A lot of nudes in Leo Reinfeld, no nudes in Leo Reinfeld photo.
Okay, I wrote it. So somebody's asking us what is the difference between photography and snapshot. So last question, because it's almost 8 o'clock. We have to go to do this in Spain.
Well, a snapshot actually is a photography. It's a photograph. It's a photograph which is taken in a very candid, quick way. You can probably say that a snapshot, it's like more the colloquial, the common word, but it would be like a candid shot. In street photography, for example, we can find a lot of snapshots, because a snapshot is simply a picture where you have to act very quickly, where you have to have prepared your camera, your settings, everything, and then you have to react, because you only have 1 second to capture this certain moment. So this, at least for me, it's a snapshot, but it's still a photograph, right?
Okay, well,
exactly.
It's clear. So thank you very much for being here in this, experiment in English. Let's talk about photography. It's the first program we make in English. I think not the last. We will come back for all these people who is not speaking Spanish or German or French or Venezuelan. Oh, sorry, Spanish also.
So, no. You're right. Look, South America have something like 15 different languages.
Yeah, I know.
They are Spanish.
I know, Papa.
You know, Papa, exactly.
I know Chamo.
That's Venezuelan, you see?
Okay.
You use that in Argentina. I didn't know what you're talking about.
Yes, I have a lot of Spanish speakers friends, but they are from different countries, so it's very different. Like in Spain, you know, Andalusian is difficult to understand for who's learned pure Spanish, you know. With the words.
Before you close, something about this thing about the languages, okay?
Yeah.
I push learning English where it is that most of the big time information for photography is in English, okay? All started many years ago talking with some lawyers, and lawyers told me that they have to learn French because the French law have more about the law than any other language in the world.
Oh,
And
we
in
have
the
a
same way,
French guy
photography,
here, so
most of the writing for photography is in English. Is in English. So I never bothered to learn French. I learned to bother English, and I took it extremely serious because of that. So we started first was the photography, and then was the English. And I mean, you are not a lawyer, Eric, but so that you know, there's a lot of lawyers that they take very seriously learning French because a lot of the history of the law comes from
That's
French
very
possible.
legal
law.
people.
That's
French are
possible,
very
that's
legal
possible.
people, you know. After cut some heads with the guillotine, they are very legal people.
Exactly, especially if they are not from Paris.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, my friends,
Okay.
thank you very much for being here. Thank you
Thank
very
you
much
very
to
much.
everybody.
Okay, thank you, and see you soon,
Nice
everyone.
See
meeting.
you soon.
Nice meeting all of you guys. Very interesting.
Same here. Stay safe
Bye.
and sane. All right. Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye bye.
take
Bye
care.
bye.
You too.